Okay, guys, so I'm back for part two of the Jared Kushner Grand Tableau, and I stopped the recording because I had misplaced the card at position 31. I had the crossroads, which was a mistake. Crossroads already uh, in a different position. The card that I put that was right card is the garden, meaning the public. So that has been fixed. So let's go back to where I was at part one when I first stopped the video. So I was talking about position 22, the crossroad, where the fish is. And the fish is a card that's related to large quantities of money, right? So if you recall, I had discussed the relationship at position 25 for the scythe, which means cuts, related to at the ring, and the card ring is a position cross, which means big uh, karma and serious problems, and that leads to his guilt, which is present at position 33, the key, which leads then to the woman, who is Ivanka, and Ivanka is related to the secret. The secret causes problems, which is the cloud, and the problems are related to large quantities of money, which is where we are now. So there's large quantities of money involved in a choice because the large quantities of money is in the crossroads position. So if we try to find the crossroads card, it's at 3. It's just, oh my God, this is, like I said before in the last reading, it's incredible, this sort of reading, especially when you know a lot of information because it tells you so much, right? So if we look at we are crossroads in large quantities of money. We find the crossroads at ship. Ship is, of course, foreign influence. And, of course, we know that Jared is heavily influenced in he's very involved in the Russia up to his neck. He's probably the most involved person out of everybody. And it harks back to the choice that he made. He made this choice about dealing with the foreign power and the deal with the foreign power regarding the election. Oh my God, I forgot, you guys. I forgot because one thing that I do for all, this makes it even more significant because the crossroads card relates to choices, right? But we have seen that in the context of all the readings I've done regarding Russia matters and the Trump, it means the election. So ship and election. So he made a deal about the election with the foreign power. That's what it's showing, okay? And that's what leads to his ending, and that's what the secret really is about. The lots of money involved in this deal. Okay. All right. So, whoa, it's so exciting. Oh my God, I love this. I feel like I found a way to connect this. This is actually fantastic doing the screencast readings because I don't have to edit right now, so it's great and it's really super spontaneous. And I really have this. Everybody does, right? Have this really strong feeling about Kushner that something's going to happen really soon. So here we are looking at what's going to happen. Okay, so let's go back to position 3, ship, the election. So the election, like we found the crossroads, right? It's at the ship. So let's find, where's the ship card? Oh, this is so great, you guys. Oh my God, I love this. So okay, so the ship card is at position 18, which is the dog, and the dog is loyalty. Oh my God. So basically, he makes a choice, like to go get a deal because in relationship to the election with a foreign power. And what does the foreign power mean? The foreign power is a position of the loyalty, right? Loyalty of friend. So he's friendly to the foreign power. But then, hello, let's find the position. Who's the dog, though, in this reading? The dog is Mueller. So this Mueller is right there. Ta-da! Ready to catch him. Okay, so yeah, so that's it. You know, that's happening with Kushner. So but there's so much more here that we have to look at. So again, and then this is what's interesting because when you start seeing the chain of storyline, okay, so let's close off the storyline with the ship. So position 18, the dog, so he's loyal to the foreign power. And where does this ship, where's the dog? The dog card, right? The dog card is position 7, the snake, the enemy. So who's the enemy? The enemy is Mueller. So that's closes this story. So just doing a very, very quick reiteration of the storyline regarding Mueller. and him and the issue. So let's get started with Mueller as the beginning of the storyline. Okay, so here's Mueller at position 7 in the snake. The snake means enemy and serious problem. So where's the snake located? The snake card located in the man position. So who's the man? The snaky man is Jared Kushner. And where's Jared Kushner? What's the context for Jared Kushner? He's the boss. So what's the deal with the boss? What's the context? The context is anchor. So the anchor is a long time, right? Anchor is something that is very lasting. So let's find, where's the anchor here? Let's find the anchor. Oh, the anchor is in mountain. So it's interesting because I think here we've talked about the key, right? Key position 33, that's the guilt. And I think here too, the anchor and the mountain are together in a way. I think that probably relates to prison as well, just because it relates to a long-term problem that you kind of can't. What is a mountain, right? It's something that lasts a long time that you have to climb, but then you're stuck there because of the anchor. In the context of legal issues in prison, I think anchor is really bad, right? Because it's saying that he's going to be in the mountain forever, pretty much, almost, right? So I think if we look at the position of Mueller, right? He's the prosecutor. He's going to say you're the boss and you're guilty. So you're going to go to prison for a long time. You're going to go to hard time. I've used this term before, hard time. So, oh my God, oh my God, you guys, I am exploding with happiness. It's so great because you see, this is like the greatest. I think this is the greatest reading I have ever done. I know people love the Mike Pence reading, but this one is so great because there's so much information, right? It's so everything leads, one thing leads to another. So let's go back to position here, anchor, right? So he's the boss, so he gets an anchor. So it's an anchor, long time, could be hard time in the mountain, right? So probably goes to prison. And let's find, where's the mountain card? Right underneath. Oh my God, this is too good, guys. This is so good. So where's the mountain card? Underneath is right there at the lily position. So what is the lily? What is the context of lily? Lily is the president, right? I've said before that the lily represents Trump. So the lily context, there's a lot of like Trump is in a really, really long-term problem, okay? And so let's find Lily. So where's Lily? Lily is at the tower. The tower in the Lenormand means it could mean government, it could mean law. Okay, it could mean isolation. I think here in the context of Trump, this means the law, okay? For several reasons, because he's not, I mean, obviously he's the president, so he's much more of a house, his position is a house, but when we talk about the government here, we mean the law, okay? I think it's very clear. So though he's in a long-term, so let's go back to position 30. So he's in a Lily is in a long-term problem, right? The mountain. The context of his context is bad, a lot of trouble. And the card of Lily is in the law, is dealing with the law right now. And let's look at the law. Where's the law? The law is behind your back. Now, this is fascinating because we know that there's a lot of secret deals. So what does the fox do? The fox do secret dealings behind his back. And we know that Mueller is doing exactly that right now, right? He is talking, having people talk, and he's cutting deals, what do you call those what is it? Make a deal with the prosecutors, right? So he's letting people talk if they can. Well, not if they can. They don't have a choice, but they have to tell him, what they know. So he's doing that literally behind Jared's back, because he's right there before Jared, the tower, and in a shade. I don't say shady, yeah, sort of a shady way, right? The people who are being prosecuted have no idea what's happening, and that's really very much a fox sort of situation, okay? So let's find the fox. Where's the fox? The fox is the heart. So it's interesting because the fox is in a way in a great position, which is the heart, which is happiness and purity. So in a way, I could feel like that, just as you could argue that the fox kills the way it does because it's fighting for food and fighting for its children, in a way, I think the means that Mueller is using are so that there's survival for the country, right, in a way. And then let's look at where the fox is leading. The fox is leading to the star here, the heart. The star position means expansion. So the right values are expanding at the same time that this stuff is going on regarding prosecution. And let's find the card star. Where is the star? We haven't talked. Oh, this. Oh, oh my God. Oh my God, you guys. This is spectacular development. So let's look at position 24, the fox. So the fox is, the stuff is going, the law is pursuing things in a kind of like a behind the scenes manner, shady manner almost. Why? Because of the values. So in order to preserve or fight for the values, it has to be done like that. So where are the values? Let's find the heart card. The heart card is in the position of hope. So there's hope. Oh my God, of course. Oh, who's above? That's Mr. Mueller right there. He helps us. He brings up. So there's hope through the heart, through the right values. And if we locate the position of the star, the hope, so beautiful, you guys. So, oh my God, so great. Oh my God. Okay, so position of this card star is 20, the garden. And what is the garden? The garden is society. So there's hope in society again, okay? So there's hope as a result of all these arrests and all the legal stuff. So let's find society. Where's society here? And there's this society card is located at the sun. That's position 31. So it's saying there's a light again to the society, right? After all this stuff happens, let's find the sun. Where's the sun? The sun is the birds. Oh my God. The sun is the birds. So the sun card is at the birds, which means talking, conversations, public, chatter. So this is going to be the talk of the town, okay? So once all this prosecution, all this law stuff comes through, everybody's going to be talking about, people are going to be happy again because we have the sun too. And the sun leads to birds, which is the cards. And where are the birds? Right there, right next to the sun. And what house is it in? The house of the child, of the new. So that's the new beginning, okay? So guys, I think that ends this part 4 about the child, because now there is also a part of the reading that's a little bit sad that I'll talk about. But I think this is, it gives a good story about what happens to the country once Mueller follows through with this whole story with Kushner. Okay, so there's hope, there's new conversations, there's a new beginning. Now, there's something negative, not for us, but for Kushner, it's a little bit sad. It's the children, because I made the choice to, if you look at the highlighted green cards, the highlighted green, so we have the dog for Mueller, we have the lady, which is Ivanka, we have the tower, which is Trump, and I have the child, which I said I wanted to know about his children, because in a way, whatever happens to his children in a way is a consequence of whatever happens to him, but it's another clue to find out what happens, okay? So the children are in pain, okay, the whip. So there's fighting, also could be fighting related to the children, right? So that shows that they're in pain because there could be fight for them, okay? And the house. So let's find, if we find the children, that the whip. So where's the whip? The whip is at the house. The house obviously could be is the White House. So there's a lot of it showing that there's a lot of infighting in the White House, right? That's very clear to everybody. And if we find the house is at position of the letter. So there's a document. And I think this is essentially the incriminating evidence, right, about the house. So there's a document related to the house here. And this document, oh, this is super interesting. So this document related to the White House. Now, if we find the letter, where's the letter? The letter is in the tree position, meaning health and growth. So this document and this letter kills the White House. So it's probably an indictment of some sort, okay? Again, because he is related to this letter. Okay, the letter, it kills the White House, and the letter, yeah, kills the growth of the White House. And let's look at what do we find here about the letter. Let's find what's the context of the letter, the tree, right? And that, where's the tree? Tree card is in position of coffin, an ending. So there's an ending to the growth of the White House, right? So it's pretty much, and in a way, I think you could read it as death on a bigger sense, on a bigger scale. So it's over for them once they have this letter comes to them, okay? It's indictment time, and it's over. So we will look at the coffin, and again, it's like all these endless threads of stories, which are fascinating and wonderful. Because if we look at the coffin, so let's look at the coffin. The coffin is at the position of, I talked about this before, how Trump is in this deathly position. But let's look at again, like if we follow the tree, and the tree is in the position 8 coffin, and the card coffin is a position 10, the scythe, that means cut. So there's a sudden ending to the growth of the White House, to the life of the White House, literally, right? And because also we have Trump underneath, that the card. So another important position here, and then we go back to a story that had already started, which was a story about the ring. So if the scythe leads to the position 25, which is the ring. And now let's look at something. I think it's important. I've already looked at the ring and how it leads to guilt and so forth, but let's look at the box. This box, and let me see if I can do this here. 1 second. I'm gonna try to zoom what I can. I don't know if I can do a lot, like super close, but okay, here. I don't know if you can see this positions. 1 second here. Okay. Yeah, I don't. Okay, so if you can see here, the position 25. I can't only isolate this because the screen is being recorded, but position 25, you have this scythe, which is a cut. So let's look at every card, the relationships around what the endings are about. Okay, so we have here, we talked about this before, at position 15, the bear, which is Jared. There's an ending to Jared, right? So here, why? Because the man pursued shady dealings behind our back, right? That's how he dealt with this, right? And then he did this, and that leads to his guilt. So this is almost the past, which is actually our present right now. But what comes next, and what we're looking at, which is let's try to relate the situation of endings. So the scythe here, what comes to an end for him? The things he cares about. So there's an ending to the thing he cares about. Through what? Through these problems related to large quantities of money that he's involved in. Okay. Now, so then we look at the future here for the future cuts. What are these cuts related to? News about Ivanka and the boss and the position of boss. So you could also look at it as in, there's going to be, if we look at the traditional meaning of the scythe, which means it cuts whatever is to the right. So there's going to be an ending to Ivanka and the White House. Okay, so whatever, this is coming to an end for him as well. And there's news here. So it's going to be news about Ivanka, and because the bear is a card of the boss, it's also a card of large amounts of money. So it's going to be a news about the leader. It could also be the leadership. His position is going to come to an end. Because of his position, there's going to be news too and about Ivanka. So their scheme is coming to an end pretty soon. Okay, so that's what this shows. Okay, and the news, and let's look at. Okay, I'm trying to look at the news. What's going to be new? What's the transition here? Okay, so if we look at the rider, the center here, the box where the rider is located, the rider is news. So what comes into the picture? So the news about the stuff he cares about through the Russian influence. So I think, what I feel like this tells us is what we're going to learn. Because in a way, obviously the reading is about him, but it's for us in some way, right? So there's news about the values, or in a way, the values that were accrued as a result of the connection to the Russian influence. And we have here so it's interesting, if we look at position 7, where Mueller is located, right? There he is. He is the first card, if we look at it as a whole reading, that starts in the column 7, 8, and 9, 3 cards here, we see that the first card would be, right, the first on the top left here is the dog. So what is this news related to? It comes first through the dog. Mueller is the person who brings in the news, okay, to us. So what are these news? These news are related to an ending to basically, so Mueller represents, because we have the heart here, Mueller represents a return to values and return to hope through an ending. So Mueller brings this ending, which in a way causes the return to values and to things we care about. And how he communicates that through news, and news about a positive transition. Okay, and this positive transition has to do with us understanding the loyalties between probably Kushner and the foreign power. Okay, And here the news is about this, it's a stork, so positive. The news about a positive transition comes as a result of here the tree, which is growth. So an ending to the tree of those people, the Kura people, through secrets, because it's the lady here. Lady could be also Ivanka, through secrets related to Ivanka and related to the Russian thing, okay? I've said before that the lady is Ivanka, but if we look at the bigger context of the Russian readings, that's what this is too, okay? So that's that. And then in the future, in terms of news, we have here a positive transition, because again, the 17 actually also leads to positive transition because of the loyalty to the foreign power and a letter here to the White House. Letter meaning indictments or conviction or something like that related to the House. So that creates a positive transition because of the foreign connection. So the foreign connections in the end create an ending, right? Create an ending, and they lead to a positive transition, and the House is indicted. Okay, so that's that. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else here. There's so much. I can go on for hours, really, about this. So, but there's just so much that we could talk about. But I think, let me try to summarize now. Let's kind of go back, make it fit. Okay, now it fits. The whole thing fits. Yeah. So, like going back here, I think I've talked about everything. Oh, the only thing that's just to connect, the last card that I don't think I've talked about much, and it's if you look at the position 9 here, the bouquet, which is a gift, and positive associations, it leads to the stork, right? So if we find the stork position, its position, okay, 17, oh no, bouquet, okay, so this is where I'm, position bouquet. So let's find the card bouquet. Where is it? I found, okay, so here's the bouquet, is at mice. So the gift, the positive transition happens in a way, it's a positive transition in every way. But if we look at the context of what this gift means in terms of Jared Kushner, that's his downfall, right? Because whatever positive money gift, whatever he got, leads back to the first position of the reading, which is the rider, right? So this basically, ultimately the gift or the corruption that he got is what leads to corruption, is what leads to the beginning of the reading, number 1, which is the rider, the news about his loss. Okay, so the big gift that he got ends up, that's his downfall, and again it goes, and this is actually pretty interesting because it's very closed off. This mini story here, which is that starting with position 23, the loss, right? The mice loss. There's a loss because of the gift, and if we find the gift bouquet, we find the stork, which is a positive transition. I think positive transition for us, the country, and the news about positive transition here, the rider. But then the rider at the position here at 17, if we find the rider card, it leads to the loss. So there is a connection here between the gift that Kushner got. The gift ends up being his downfall, his loss, and that creates news for us about a positive transition. Okay, in the end, there is a positive transition to the country because of this. Okay, so that's another thing. I feel like I've talked about, so there's so many things here, and I do believe I have discussed the larger majority of them, but you can see how things are coming to an end. And in terms of a timing situation, if we could think of that really at all, I think that it comes, if I said 3 months, and if it does happen in 3 months, I think it will happen in 3 months. It's showing that the White House is, okay, so let's see, I said February is the ending. The last column starts with 9. So what happens then is the letter to the House, right? The White House gets a letter, and the guilt because of the ring here, 36. So yeah, so the ending comes sooner though for Kushner, probably within a month the most, if not between a day and a month. This ending comes to him, and the news to the country about the transition comes after, and the secret is revealed, and then by February there's an indictment of people of the House itself, people related to the House. And although traditionally we can say that everything is supposed to be about the time. I only really pretty much care about the future. Everything that's before Kushner, it's not, obviously not strict because we have an ending to to the um, to the older man here at the beginning of the reading. So it just contextualizes his whole story, and I think that's that. I think that's pretty much everything we wanted to know, the whole story. Okay, so I hope that is clear to all of us. I think it's really clear to me. I hope you enjoyed this reading, and thanks for watching. And I'm probably going to go back to the other readings. It's just that one of those things that I felt like I really, really wanted to talk about it, because I have a strong feeling that things are going to happen to him really quickly, and we need to talk about it. And there's just so much related to him that it's like if I started listing the numbers of questions I had, it would be too time consuming to go one by one because you would never really get the full picture. And this gives us the full picture at once. So that was that. That was part 2 for Jared Kushner, Grand Tableau. Okay, thanks for watching, and bye. See you next time.